fine from my end, or do you see huge disturbance or something like that?
It is completely fine.
Okay, thank you. Because from institute, I'm taking the class from institute, so there is
Okay, okay. There
noise
are
outside.
roadside background noises, but it's manageable.
Fine then,
Your voice
thanks.
is clear.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there any question from previous sessions? Or is it all fine? We'll start with ESXi networking next. It should be changed. Okay, this IP should be changed. Lab vCenter is on different network. That's why I'm not able to reach it. So I'm trying to fix that. Give me 2 minutes. It's some different way to change the IP address. Requirement. Same. You want now? I'll send you. Just now. Also. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll ask someone to change it. So we'll start with our networking. So there is a different way to change it, not like how we change on any Linux machine. Something different on vCenter. Let me check. $200 is already used. Sorry for that. Entered wrong with this. Can you guys see my screen? Hello?
Yes, Professor. Yeah, we are ready.
Okay. I'm changing the newly defined vCenter IP address. Just doing it again. Yeah, now it's working. I missed when I press enter, it took the default old IP address. Now it is fine. So now I'm connecting to my vCenter also. I think some configuration file. I think it's deployment was not correct. I didn't check. Someone else did that. Well, anyway, I'll fix it later. It takes some time to fix the. If you want me to show, look, only the vCenter deployment will proceed now. We'll skip the networking topic for now. We'll deploy a new vCenter. Is it fine?
So is it possible to complete network by tomorrow then?
Yeah, tomorrow we can complete that network part.
Okay. So part of this, you would like to deploy the vCenter to
Yeah, we'll see like how to deploy 6.5 vCenter and how to configure it as well.
Okay. If we are able to complete network by tomorrow, then I'm good.
Yeah, so once we are done with this vCenter deployment, then we'll proceed with some base networking today, and again same thing will be repeated. Tomorrow we'll be able to complete 2 hours is enough.
Okay.
Waiting for this appliance to be copied. I'm downloading vCenter 6.7 vCenter as a OVA. So we have seen like the fifth method of VM deployment, the OVA. It comes with an operating system and also the vCenter installed in it. It's done by VMware itself. I have downloaded and kept in this location. This file has some Photon OS that is developed by VMware and also the vCenter 6.5 application in it. It's called basically appliance, comes with an extension called .ova. I have already downloaded and placed here. I'm trying to copy that file outside. Once it is done, we'll deploy. There is no lag right now. It's faster now.
Yeah, it is good.
Because I'm in local network from a lab. If anyone wants to see the server, please let me know. I can enable my webcam and I'm in front of the server. If someone is interested really to see how a server looks like, physical server.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Prakash, did something.
I was saying, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure whether webcam enablement here. Okay, I'm stopping my screen share. Maybe you can see the cam. Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Prakash.
There are two servers, one on the top of the rack, one on the below of the rack. And backside, if you see, there are multiple connections. Maybe backside, I don't think if it is visible properly, but there are a lot of connections. Tomorrow I'll try to turn this machine and see while discussing about networking. It will help a lot. So, and there is one complete rack with the 2 servers and 1 switch on top of that. VC deployment. I have a OVF file downloaded into my desktop and I'm connected to the ESXi here. I want to deploy a virtual machine from that OVF file. Okay, that has a vCenter application inside it. I don't need to install it. Okay, its installation is already done. I just need to deploy that machine. So even if you don't have vCenter even infrastructure, this is if you are going to set up from very scratch. Okay, this is the way you have to do. One of the ESXi machine should be ready. Once you connect to that host with username, root and its password, the very first ESXi host for the infrastructure. Okay. Once you log into that host, do you want me to show how to connect to this host as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's say there is one ESXi machine.
It's not a vCenter, right? vSphere, not a vSphere.
Sorry?
Okay.
No,
So
sorry.
this GUI is actually ESXi host GUI.
Yeah, that is ESXi host. I'm trying to connect one of the ESXi hosts here, which is already ready, 150. IP is 1.150. I think already the session was there. Otherwise, it will ask for root and password. That's fine. When you connect for the first time, there will be no VM. So you have to click register. And we want to deploy a vCenter using a OVF file. We have already OVF file. Select this option. This interface is just one ESXi machine from the web interface. What is the name that you want to give? I'll just say Spider VC 45. And we have to drag and drop, or you can just click on this empty space. And here is the OVF file. On my desktop, I have placed it here. vCenter appliance 6.5. Version is 6.5. Next. I'll select wherever I have enough free space. As of now, it's a local hard disk, local data store. License agreement, agree. 2 pages, I just agreed. Next. So here is the networking configuration for this respective vCenter. And here the deployment type, if you see, there will be different types. It basically for the inventory capacity, like if you have 100 machines, less than 100 machines, you select 100, small. If less than 10 machines, select tiny. Here itself, there will be some description, how many hosts it can add. 10 hosts and 100 VMs it can manage. So it is optimized to manage less than 10 hosts and 100 VMs, because the resources also it will consume from this ESXi host respectively. 2 CPUs, 10 GB it will take. If you select small, it can manage up to 100 hosts and 1000 VMs. It need 4 CPUs and 16 GB memory to manage this inventory, this much of huge inventory. Okay. Like if you select medium, again it will increase 400 VMs. Now you might have got some idea, right? Depends on the inventory that we are going to manage, we have to select the model. Okay. What deployment type, the vCenter type. For our lab, it is enough. We have less than 10 hosts and just select it. Select. it should be like your expectation as well. How in next 2 years, how much your organization will grow. Based on that, you select now itself. There are multiple options available. Depends on that we can select. PSC and network. As of now, this is the default first network. I am selecting that one only. Let it be thin disk itself. We will see thin and thick difference between thin and thick later. And I don't want to power on automatically. You can enable that also if you don't want to manually power on. I want to monitor the deployment progress, then manually power on. That's why I'm disabling this option. Next. So from here,
So, will it allocate 10 GB memory from our base machine immediately when we are
we don't need to allocate. It will automatically take. Yes, it will allocate that much of memory. Sorry? No, it's not.
Will it be reserved?
No, it's not reserved.
Okay. Okay.
Next thing is network configuration. Here we have to enter some network information for that vCenter. So here you have to enter just a family. What family IP family you want to use? IP version 4, IP version 6. If you don't know what to enter here, you can just highlight here. It will give you the hint. What should I enter? Do you want to use DHCP IP or static IP? I want to use static IP address. 20 prefix 32 or 24. I want it's a 24 subnet. This information will be provided by your network team. You don't need to worry about this. For others who is not aware of it, gateway 1.1. DNS server. Don't have DNS and DHCP, but we'll use our own information. 6 IP 1.50 0.50 1 or 50. I'll use some standard Windows 123 @ password. For everything, I will use the same password. Windows 123 @ capital W. Root password is also same. Okay, wait. Check its IP. For today, it's 1.5. It is taking DHCP IP. Next. That is fine. Just summary of the information that we have selected. Next, finish. So here you can see the progress. What is happening with that our deployment option? It's being deployed. Spy to EC45. DNS records. $45. 220 IP. Create any. So the check-in point. Host record is created, right? Okay. Reverse lookup Jacob. Website. Okay, reverse lookup zone we have to create new one, 192.168, one dot. No. Right click on reverse lookup zone. Yes. Fine. Primary zone. Same option. IPv4. 192.168. No. One dot. Wait. Okay. No, that's it. Next and finish. Name IP box. Delete pointer record create seller. Pointer zone is created. Pointer record you have to create. Leave it. Okay, create it manually. Hmm. Zones marked. Zone. Forward lookup zone की reverse lookup zone की wherever. Forward lookup zone లో రికార్డ్ క్రియేట్ చేయి ఆటోమేటిక్గా పాయింటర్ రికార్డ్ క్రియేట్ చేయమని సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకో see where it will create which zone it will create. ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది కదా ఫార్వర్డ్ లుకప్. create out. Maybe put duplicate it. Not clear. It's deployed. I'm just I'm powering on it for the first time. It takes some time. Please be patient. I'm checking it. Yeah, it takes some time. It will configure automatically. It will show the access visa. coming up. It should show the IP and name properly here. Then only it will be ready. Whatever the IP that we have provided, 192.168.1.220 should display here. It is not taking our password, so still it is working in the background. Accepting now. Maybe it is still working. I have to wait. Okay, so basically take just snapshot is something like capturing its current state. Actually, I captured it. So if something goes wrong during configuration, I can go back. Instead of doing, we have no other option. We have to deploy a new one again. Whatever the time we have spent till now, we should do it again. That's why I'm just capturing the state. Go to snap. There is a topic later. Just quickly, what I'm doing it here. I'm telling you. When I take a snapshot, it captures its state at this moment. So even if something goes wrong later, what I will do, I can cancel those changes and I can come back to this situation, this state where I've captured, so that I don't need to spend again whatever the time we have spent. We have spent around 50 minutes, okay, to bring to this stage. If it fails in the later stages, if I don't capture its state, I have to do it from the start, very start again. That's why I'm capturing the state. So then we'll see it later. And I have 2 stages copied, before configuration and one more. I think that initial one was failed. It's okay, fine. Okay. And from here onwards, I'll take its configuration. Installation is ready. Like now a SUSE Linux machine and with vCenter 6.5 is already installed in it and it is ready now. Now I need to configure as per my needs. I need to configure it. Enter its IP 220:5480. Remember this port number. It will be helpful for day-to-day job and also interview point of view. They'll be asking what is the admin port for vCenter. Admin port is like 5480. Basically, without port number, if I enter, it will take me to the normal ESXi host management, VMs, ESXi host, and every day we see, right? It will navigate to that port. If I enter port number 5480, it will take me to this configuration port. So here, basically, this is the option. You can use it for even upgrade from vCenter from one version to another version, Windows to VCSA, Windows to Linux-based vCenter and all. It will help. First option is setting up the vCenter appliance for the first time. That's what we are doing now. We are setting up a new vCenter, right? That's we have to select this option. If you select this one, it upgrades from the older version. Let's say if you are running with 6.0 vCenter and you want to upgrade to 6.5, you can click this option. And if you are using a Windows vCenter and you are not happy with Windows vCenter, you want to migrate to VCSA, we will select this option. The usage of these options also we will discuss later. There is a concept called vCenter architecture, how it has been evolved over the years, 5.0 to till now. We'll discuss later. These options will be useful later. As of now, you don't need to worry. Even if I miss any option, you don't need to worry. That will be covered at any respective stage. This is restore is like if your vCenter is crashed, if you want to restore it, we'll use this option. That's fine. For now, I'm selecting this one. Root password I have entered as Windows 123 @ If I change yesterday, automatically it will break my internet connection. But like my class, I use I can't change. Finally, it's working. So here I have to verify whether the entered details, it's automatically it should pull the information here. If it is not able to pull here, something wrong with the configuration. You have to do it again and again. So, but as of now, it's fine. SSH I want to enable. Name, IP address, subnet mask, gateway, and the DNS. It's all fine now. Clicking next. Here it will create a local domain. We will discuss about this SSO later. Basically, like a Windows username and Windows Active Directory domain, it will create a local domain for vCenter. You can give it any name. The default name is vSphere.local. Let it be the default name. This will be the default domain that will be created. During interviews, it will be very common question. What will be the default domain in the VMware vSphere infrastructure? It's vSphere.local is the default domain. At this stage, we can change if you want, but that's fine. I want to keep it the same. And password, I will use the standard password in the lab that we use, Windows 123 @ This can be anything. I'll say first site, one, whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't want to join into the customer experience program. When I select this one, my settings, whatever the standard options that I'm doing, this information will be exported to VMware. That's what it's written here. If you accept, this information will be shared with VMware. Something like when you are setting up a Chrome, it will ask, right? We will help you to fix your problems if you select this option, something like that. So it will be sending you all your browsing data to the Google. The same way here also, this information will be our settings and information will be shared to VMware, but I don't want to do that. Next. This is all summary I have selected. Finish. Yeah, that's fine. Yes. So again takes 15 to 20 minutes. Please bear. Local host. ESXi. Physical ESXi. దీని లోపల ఒక VM వేస్తున్నారు. Yes. Application configuration. ఆ మెషిన్ ఇన్సైడ్ ఉన్న అప్లికేషన్ ఉంది కదా, అప్లికేషన్ ని కాన్ఫిగర్ చేస్తాం. సో హౌఎవర్ వి నీడ్, ఐఎమ్ సెట్టింగ్ అప్ దట్. So this is the IP we have set, right? We have given during the OVA deployment. Here each name also is important, at least 4 to 5 names, whatever it displays, right? Because during interview they will be asking what is PSC or what are the components of PSC. Each name that we have seen, license server, syslog server, the control agent, whatever it is showing. So these at least 4 or 5 names we should remember. I'll give you those names later. While we discuss about vCenter architecture, we will see these components. Okay, so the deployment is completed. The vCenter is configured now. It is ready to use now. Either this one or this one. Okay, basically this one. You can click here or manually you can type HTTPS. Certificate acceptance, whether for the first time, just say yes. Flash is the older version. We need Flash, Adobe Flash Player to open this page. And this is HTML5. Basically, we don't need any plugins for that. I don't have, I think Adobe Player. We'll see. Otherwise, if I click HTML5 until 6.5, it's a partial functionality. From 7.0 on, partial in the sense like few tasks we will not be able to do using web HTML5 interface. You have to use Flash client. Because I'm not into DNS, is not using my lab in DNS, so it's having some issue. It's because the DNS. I'm using my service provider DNS, and the vCenter is using the lab DNS. That is the reason it is failing after configuration. Let me take an RDP of any other machine. From there, you'll be able to use. I'm taking login into my DNS server only. That is fine. This is my lab server, so the server and the vCenter will be both in the same same DNS. So I'll be able to connect from here. If you see, this is the older vSphere client. We used to use up to 5.5, but that is not useful anymore. The vSphere client. If you want to see that legacy vSphere client, this is the one. and I should use HTTPS here. So I need to enter the username in the local domain. Administrator at vsphere.local is the local domain. So complete name I have to use, and the password, default password I have used. It's not a VMware default, my lab default password. Windows 123 at the rate. When you connect for the vCenter for the first time after deployment, it will be empty. There is no ESXi machine, no VMs, nothing like. Even if you navigate to all these browsers, everything will be empty. We need to add one ESXi machine. Okay, if you want to manage, this is our first vCenter. It's empty now. Okay, we connected to one vCenter. Now I want to add ESXi host here. Here everything will be GUI options only. With right click or left click, you can select and navigate throughout this interface. Completely GUI. But when I right click, I'm not able to add any ESXi now. Before you add anything, any ESXi host into vCenter, you should create one new data center. Basically, if you want to place physical servers in our infrastructure, we need to have a secure building, right? We cannot place the servers on the road, right? Like that. So here also we should have one data center, virtual data center. This data center will be named based on the city name where the servers are located, basically geographical location. I will just say Bangalore, okay, because my lab is in Bangalore, so I'm just giving like that. So by looking at this data center itself, we can say the physical data center is maybe located in that respective city, and it has nothing. When I expand also nothing. This is the first data center I created. When you select this DC, the icon also looks like building icon. That means it represents a physical data center. As of now, nothing, no components are added. I want to add one ESXi host. Right click, add host. If you want to add a host, you need to have one physical server installed with ESXi operating system, and that should be configured with IP and connected in the same network. Okay. I have one ESXi machine. You have seen on a webcam, right? So the physical server, and it's with IP called 150. 192.168.1.150. So it's pinging. So it's already installed, the physical server installed with an ESXi and assigned with 150, and it is in the network. Right click, add host. When you right click on the data center, you will see this option, add host. You will see these other options later, storage, virtual machines, and all those things later. As of now, add host. I have one host, I will add that host here. 1.150. You will ask for username and password. Default username for ESXi machine is root, and the password is the password that we have set during OS installation. The same Windows 123 @ in our lab. This is a certificate verification, SSL certificate verification between vCenter and ESXi host, stating that is the authorized vCenter to manage this ESXi host. There will be certificate will be exchanged between them. Summary and just send. You have to purchase a license and put it here. Otherwise, it comes with an evolution license. That means 60 days we can use this product completely free with all the features, extreme level, whatever extreme level of features they are available with this product, we can available. So for 60 days we can practice. Okay. For us, for our learning purpose, 60 days is enough. After that, we will format and use it. When here, the lockdown mode, this is important only for interview point of view. basically it will be disabled by all the time. Okay. If you enable it, you will not be able to connect to the host directly. Let's say now I'm connecting to the host directly using a web browser, right? Or else here I see, here I have connected to my ESXi host directly. Okay. If I enable this option, I will not be able to connect to the host directly. It restricts the direct access. Here itself it will be there. You have to manage only from the vCenter, but nobody uses this. And if you select strict, it will be not even accessible via DC UI, like means directly from the console also you can't access. Console in the sense it's a physical monitor. Okay. Basically it will not be used at all. If you want to use it, they will ask like what is lockdown mode. Lockdown is not our lockdown. Here lockdown mode, this was available from the day they have developed this 3.5 lockdown. The lockdown in the current city is different. This lockdown is, it will restrict access to the direct ESXi host. So we have to manage via vCenter. But if you disable, you will be able to access any method. Basically, it will be disabled only. You can access also. Where you want to place the VMs, that find default location. VM location. Here I want to place under the data Bangalore data center. Next, and the summary to finish. Okay. It's adding whatever we are doing on this interface. Here you can see the progress in the bottom of the screen. You see, right? Recent tasks. Whatever the recent task we are performing in this vCenter. Not only this specific user, any user, maybe some other user connected to this vCenter. Whatever he is doing, if he has initiated any other task, that also you can see here. Not only this user's task, all other users' tasks will be able to see here. But these will be available for some time only. They will disappear automatically after some time. I don't have any exact specific time how long they will be available here, but they will not be available after 10-15 minutes. They will be automatically disappear. I don't have exact time value, but that's not a mandatory thing. Okay. It's not important. Like recent task, if you have initiated, that you can see. The completed task will be automatically disappear. If it is in progress, even 3-4 hours, it will show here only. If some task is in progress, it is taking like 3 to 4 hours of time, still it will show here only. Initiated by any user, doesn't matter. Here it is initiated by administrator, which I am connected here. Under this host, there are 3 virtual machines already. Our vCenter, where we have connected, that is also running inside this Spider VC40. Okay. So that means we have one ESXi machine. Our vCenter is here, and we are sitting here. Okay. We have deployed this vCenter. This is a vCenter, and this is ESXi host. This host is added to this vCenter itself. Even though this vCenter is running on this VM, this host is also added to the same vCenter. If you have another host, that also you can add to this vCenter. Now you connect to this vCenter and you start managing this host. And this vCenter also you can manage from this session. That's what we are doing. This is the vCenter. And the rest all will be GUI options. We will see later. Okay. As of now, we have seen like vCenter deployment and how to add an ESXi host into the vCenter. Okay. Maybe I'll join after 30 minutes. You can take some break, have your breakfast. Okay. After the break, we will join. Okay. I'll message you in WhatsApp. Until then, you take the break. Okay. Any questions, please let me know.